John Carpenter's The Fog. That's right, that's this week's table that I'm featuring. It's a VPX table. Got it from VP Universe. I'll provide the links on where to get it. I want to first start out with my disclaimer for those of you that watch these and want to say that just a disclaimer, I don't create these tables. I never claimed to have created these tables. These are tables that are created by some wonderful creators, and I'll give credit to them here in just a little bit. All I'm doing is putting together some information, letting you see the table play, putting some information together as to where you can download it and how you can set up the file structure and get it easily installed into your front end, especially if you're a Pinball Emporium user. Most of my viewers are Pinball Emporium users. I'm not versed yet in the other front ends, but I'm sure if you are, you could take these same files and put them into Pinup Popper or Pinball X. There's some other front ends out there. Again, this is primarily designed for Pinball Emporium users. Let's get to seeing what this table looks like, and then I'm going to go into a little more in-depth this time discussion on how to get this installed, because there's a lot of different files that work here in this table. So that said, let's get a ball loaded here. There we go. Now this is you can play two-player if you like. Just hit your start button twice if you got enough credits in there, and it'll light up the two-player. Well, that wasn't very good. Again, this is just an idea to let you see what the table looks like. I'm not going over the rules or anything. Just it's a beautiful table. Great sound. Been redone. And again, I'll get to that in a little bit of who the creators were of this table, which you will find on the download link that I'll provide. I'm also providing a link that is going to have the file structure set up for you to place these files in, so it's easily drag and dropped into your Pinball Emporium to make this work. Ball four. Great sound effects, great looking table. Now at the end of this ball, when the game's over, keep an eye on the back glass up there above me. It's gonna crack, and then a fog is gonna roll in over the table. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's just great. That is absolutely great. Okay.
From the top of the world, fabulous 1340 KAB.
Come over here while I get out of this. Now, let me change some things here. First thing I want to do is I'm going to change some of the settings on my system to make it be a little bit easier for you to see what's going on while I'm working on this. So just bear with me 1 second. Okay, here we go. Actually, first thing I'm going to show you is this is the link I'm going to give you to VP Universe. You will see this. Let me give credit here. HighRes00 created this table. Artwork by HighRes00. Scripting by LoserMan76, Board Dog, Rascal, Apius, and HighRes00. It's a 1979 Gottlieb table, and there's no permission to mod. Version 10.7 of Visual Pinball version is 10.7 is required. You'll hit the download button. You will get all these zips, and you're going to download them all. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you is with that being said, you want to make sure that you put these in its own special folder after you download them. You can see I created a folder called The Fog, because it's going to, unlike some of them, when you unzip this, it is going to give you quite a few files. Now, let's start out with what happens though. My download is going to have the collections folder and the emulators folder and a text file. When you download that, just move it over here into this folder you created for everything else. If you download mine first, it's going to be nice because it's going to have those folders for you. It's also going to have the complete package, where to download it at. You can copy and paste that link into your browser, and it will get you over there to VP Universe, where I showed you just a second ago. And then you're going to have your collections and emulators folder. Let's go over again. Collections folder. Inside that is, just like in Pinball Emporium, your Visual Pinball X folder, your Medium Artwork folder. Then you're going to have your cover photo, named exactly this way it needs to be named. You're also going to have your video, which is the video that I did put together. That cover photo was one that was provided in the zip file. I just went ahead and already moved it in here for you. The video file is the only one that I made. I just recorded myself playing the table and formatted it properly to work in Pinball Emporium. And the video marquee, which I named properly, but I did take from the original download, and I just shortened the length of it, made it a smaller file size. You can see it's still 13 meg. It was a lot bigger when I downloaded it, so I just made that a little easier for you. Now, then you're going to get all these zip files. I just highlighted them all. Highlighted all these zip files. And I right-clicked on them. And I hit extract to here. I won't do that again because there's no need for it, because this is what you got. Well, yes, actually I will do that again because there is a part that I'm missing here, so I want to show you everything from start to finish. So all those zip files that you downloaded, extract all to here, and it's going to ask me if I want to overwrite some here in a minute. And I'll hit yes to all. It's showing up on a different screen. Okay, here we go. Now, first thing, the VPX file. You see it down here at the bottom? That's the same file name that I named everything in the collections folder. Remember, your direct B2S file and everything in your collections file has to be named the same. So I went off the name of what they downloaded. Now, let's take a look. This one here, now a lot of these files here are already used to put in the wheel art and whatnot. You can go through them and see, maybe you'd rather use one of them. Name it the same name as the VPX table and move it into your collections folder where you want it. You can use one of those, but I've already done that work for you. Now, let's talk about the things that are critical here now. The Fog the Gottlieb 1979 V2.5 for 10.7 VPX. That name has to be the same. Now, let's look at your direct B2S files. You've got this alt one, you've got this original, you've got this one here, which is number 2, which is a copy of the first one. This one here, its name matches this one exactly. It is one of the original direct B2S files. You can use that if you want, but I opted to use the alternate one, which I thought was pretty doggone cool. So first thing is, you can't name that one up there the same as this one until you change the name on this. So let's just change this to BAK. Now I know that's the original one backed up. Now let's copy this file. Not the file, but just click the name and highlight it and copy the name. Just highlight the name and hit copy. Now, since I'm going to use the alternate back glass, I highlight that name, just the name, not the file, the whole file, and I hit paste. Okay. Now, that is the back glass that we're going to use. grab that file, this file here, move it to your emulators folder. Open your emulators folder, grab the two of them, move them to pinball. There's easier ways to do this. I'm just trying to show you how to do this. Then grab those two, move it to tables. Replace the destination files because I've already done this once, but I just want to show you exactly how this works. Now go back to the Fog. Now, there's another folder here that's important, just the one called Fog. It's got all your MP3 files to make this table play and play right with all the neat background music. So go back to the Fog. It has to go into, highlight it, into emulators. It goes into Visual Pinball. It goes into Visual Pinball. And it goes into this music folder. Now again, I've already done this, so it's going to say, do you want to replace? But I'm going to do it again just to show you that works. Now, now everything that you need to make this run in Pinball Emporium is here for you now. If you go back here, you don't have to worry about any of this other stuff, just the collections folder and the emulators folder. Collections folder is laid out just the same way as it is in Pinball Emporium. Everything's named properly. Same thing with the emulators folder. Grab these two folders. Don't worry about any of the rest of this stuff. Go over here to, mine is in my C drive. Yours may be in a different place, and if you see Pinball Emporium on my C, that's only because I named my drive Pinball Emporium, because I've got multiple drives in the system and I want to know which one I'm booting from. Anyway, you grab those and you go to the Pinball Emporium folder. The Pinball Emporium folder, just like I've shown you before. And you drag these two folders right into Pinball Emporium. Now it's going to say, do you want to replace these? Because I've already done this. Replace the destination files. There we go. Now again, I apologize. This video has gone a little longer, but I want to make sure people know how this works. Now, once I'm done there, I want to launch Pinball Emporium. So I'm going to go back here and hit this. And I am going to launch Pinball Emporium. And I'm just going to show you that this did work and what it looks like and what I've set up. Again, the main thing with this and the main problem I see people having is getting stuff named wrong or in the wrong folder. And that's why I have gone to the trouble of trying to set this up for you and hopefully made it a little easier for you. I'm hitting my M button on the keyboard. Just to make it quicker to get through all the letters. Here we go. There's your cover photo. There is your back glass marquee video playing on my back glass. And there's your table video playing on the main table. And I just really love that back glass file, which I did not create. That was in the files that they provided. I just shortened it and made it smaller so it didn't take up so much room on your system. I used Handbrake and made it a smaller file size. Anyway, let's launch this table. Okay, right now I'm going to explain to you something that's going on with that back glass. If you take a look at that back glass, it looks horrible. Now, this, I'm kind of giving you a 2-in-1 tutorial here. If you ever have that happen, I don't know if you remember if I told you this earlier when I was doing this, but let's back out of this. Back completely out of Pinball Emporium. And let me take you back over here to this display here. If you remember, I changed I don't know if I told you this or not. I changed the resolution of the screen so you could see what I was doing better in the file structure, but you'll see now that monitor 2 is at 125%. All these monitors, depending on how many you're running, 1, 2, or 3 monitors, have to be set at 100%. I'm on monitor 2. Set this to 100%. I forgot to do that, see? But now you're getting to see what can happen here. Let's go back to all my screens and launch Pinball Emporium. That's going to fix that problem. And this video would have been a little cleaner had I done that before I went in here. I had to back up to do that. But now you can see what can happen to even me. It's like, what happened? What went wrong? Files named properly, files in the proper location, displays set up right. All this stuff is pretty tedious, and you've got to make sure that you've got it all set up just right. And again, that's why I try to go through this and put these tables together and these folders together for you ahead of time to make it a little easier for you. There you go. Now, the back glass is looking good. Let's start the table. Our back glass looks as it should. You'll notice one player on the back glass above me is lit. I'm going to show you if you hit your start button again. Now, again, you've got 2 players. So, very cool. You can play 2-player. And I just love this table. It's very cool. Not to mention the fact it's got Adrienne Barbeau on the table. Maybe you have to be my age to get that, but anyway. She's probably pretty old now. I know she is. If she's even still around. Okay, I'm playing horribly. We'll leave this to somebody else to post a video of how to play this thing right someday. Anyway, I want to give a shout out to my other pinball friends, Digital Victory, who does a great job. Check out his channel. A whole bunch of other YouTubers that do some retro gaming, pinball and stuff. Off-Grid Arcade, Retro Arcade Music Man, DKOG73. Just some people you ought to check out. I always like putting in a good word for these other people that put in a lot of work to these videos. Okay, with that being said, I think that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and hope you enjoy John Carpenter's The Fog. Have a good one, everybody.